No one ever prepared me for when my children became.
I had to respond to this because my father just passed away February 12th, 2026. Okay? Let me break down something a lot of y'all are not understanding about kids versus parents. When it comes to James Scott Farron, I want what I want and I want it now. There's a double-edged sword to that. The first mistake you make is you spoil your kids. These kids today do not do chores. They don't do nothing for themselves. And then they're in daycare from 6 weeks old until 12 years old. That's number one. You lost your child the day they were in daycare, when they said they didn't want to go and you made them go. There were kids that I remember when I used to do daycare that did not want to be in daycare. There were kids where their parents held them all of the time, did not feed them. They didn't know how to feed themselves, they didn't know how to crawl, and they did not know how to walk. Guess who taught them? Daycare. Daycare taught them. Guess who's educating your children? The school system. So when are parents educating their kids? They're not. When they get home, they don't ask them kids how their day is. When these kids come to them and say, Mommy, I've been bullied, just suck it up, go back to school and act like it didn't happen. Instead of pulling that child out of school. Let me explain why. Society doesn't make it where you can raise your children as a woman. If you are a single mother, you still got to go to work for 8 hours. Some of y'all 10 to 12 hours. And you got to go to work from 8 to 5, 7 to 3, 7:30 to 4:30, whatever way you want to call it. You not off in time to pick them off from the bus, and you ain't there in time to make sure they get on the bus. So who gonna put them on the bus? They put themselves on the bus. You get phone calls, you got to leave work to go deal with it. Guess what? You don't get paid. Now your bills are not paid. Now, if you got two parents in the house that are not making enough to barely straight by, then how they gonna get off? You have a lot of men when they come home that don't even have nothing to do with the kids at all. Don't help them with homework. Do not put them to bed. They get on the game. They sit there and they don't do nothing with them kids. You have a lot of parents that don't take their kids nowhere. Them kids are in the house all day long. These kids are on their phones, on their tablets all day. That No Child Left Behind was the worst thing they could have did with them kids. Now these kids don't have to learn nothing. Half of them are not paying attention. You say something to them, they're ready to fight. You tell the parents, they don't think their kids are doing it. Let me tell you how I broke somebody parent. This little girl pulled this little girl hair out in the daycare when I first started. Now let me tell you how I dealt with it. I told her grandmother, because I kept telling the parent about this girl behavior. And the daycare will tell you can't say nothing negative about these kids. I don't know where they got that from, because that's the biggest mistake you make. So what I did, I told the parent to come to the school. See for yourself how your child acts. That's what grandma did. Grandma came. Grandma sat right there and watched that behavior. I told her sit there for a minute. I said, just watch. She saw how this girl disrespected me. Called me out my name. 2 years old, calling me out my name. Telling me she ain't gonna listen to me. Hit me and all. Grandma saw it all. Grandma walked in there. Let me tell you something. You better not ever put your hands on this woman. Another parent didn't believe it. Sat there and watched their child. She said, come with me. When I tell you she tore that tail up, brought that boy back in there, and she said, you better not ever disrespect this woman no more. Honey, I ain't have no more problems. That's how I deal with these kids. I let their parents see for themselves how bad their kids is. Because then they ain't got no choice. I tell them, come to the school. I tell the principal, there's a parent coming. Let her come on to the back. Because I want her to see how her child be acting. So I'll let the parents see for themselves. Tell them to come and let me know they come. I ain't gonna let the child know they come. Sometimes I tell the parents, just sit there and just watch your child behavior. I had one little boy that was playing with dolls, and his daddy told him not to play with dolls. He kept doing it. Daddy came and saw that mess. He said, look, if you don't get out them clothes and go put some clothes on, didn't that woman tell you 4 times to go put on some clothes? I don't care about what you want. You heard what she said. And if she called me telling me you did this again, we're going to have a very serious problem. Mom was a whole nother story. Mom acted like them kids didn't do nothing. It wasn't until her husband came, stepdaddy came, saw the behavior, told him stand right there, told him, I want you to tell your wife what you just saw. When that man both of them told her what they saw, she didn't like me after that, but she had to respect me after that point. Because here's the thing. There are a lot of kids' parents that are in denial. A lot of parents spoil their children. And then when you spoil them, now they think that every woman or every man they date has to spoil them. This trickles down to the wife. This trickles down to the husband. That's why I said, I don't care what you tell me. I want to see how your mama treats you. Because that's going to determine if I date you. Because if your mama act like this, then I can't with you. Because you'd be amazed how many men act like their mama. There are men out here who are judgmental just like their mama. There are men out here who think that women are supposed to cook and clean. There are women out here that think that men are supposed to pay all the bills. Honey, that is not the way this works. Just because your parents did it doesn't mean your spouse has to do it. Some of y'all want parents. You don't want a spouse. You want a parent. You want somebody that's going to lower themselves so you look good because you intimidated because that person has already got themselves together. You want them to give up everything so you can take care of them and then turn around and throw it back in their face when you lose your job or you end up gambling or doing something stupid, now telling them they got to get a job. Now, while your wife is sitting up here working and paying all the bills, you sitting at home playing the PlayStation, not getting paid for it, just sitting at home playing the PlayStation all day. Not doing nothing, not cooking, not cleaning, but you want me to not only work, but you want me to get up and take care of everything. So what I say to this woman is this here. You have a society that is damned if you do, damned if you don't. Whether you want to raise your kids or not, you're not raising your kids. The school system is raising your kids. They are teaching your kids because you're not going behind the school system and teaching them yourself. Just like I told my son, you get in trouble and you did it willingly, don't you come in here crying. I ain't bailing you out. You're going to take everything that come with it, and that's it on that. For every action, there is a reaction. I'm not reacting to it. Now, if somebody do something to you, and I know that you didn't do what they claim that you did, and I know that you didn't do it, I'll stand up for you every step of the way. If I hurt your feelings, let me know, and I'll apologize. You do something wrong, you better take everything that come with me, because whatever rules is in my house, I don't care where you go. Don't change, because guess who you got to call and bail out? Guess who you got to face when you get in trouble? Me. When you go to heaven, guess who you got to talk about why you went against God? God himself. So you think God gonna want to hear all the reasons that you did what you did? God knows what you did, and God knows why you did it. God just want to see if you're going to admit to it during Judgment Day. So the way I look at my kids, same way on Judgment Day. You tell me why you did what you did. And ask me, am I going to bail you out? I took everything out of my child's room if he got in trouble because he knew I was not playing. I told him recently, if your PlayStation break, everything break, your granddaddy ain't here no more. It's not getting replaced if you break it. You break your laptop, you break your tablet, I'm not replacing it. My grandma ain't going to replace it. We ain't got the money. So we make it clear. You better take care of your stuff. Because again, I don't play when it comes to certain things. I don't. I am a parent. And the one thing I never did was spoil my child. Because I did not want the next woman to think that it's her responsibility to spoil my child. No, that is not her responsibility. They're partners. She pulled her weight, he pulled his. If my son didn't have autism, I would tell him, don't you date a woman that don't got no job. Don't you even think about being with a woman that is not evenly yoked to you financially and can hold her own. I would never tell a man to be with a woman that's less than. Just wouldn't. But that's just me.